All right. Felt honest, felt good. How are you, legends? You good? Kicking crowd, this is good. So I got to be honest, guys, in stand-up comedy, it's not all beer and Skittles. Sometimes things can turn. Because I recently did a gig for a room full of real estate agents. And I think the collective noun was a sniffle of real estate agents. And you will concede, even for real estate agents, they must think it's probably the least trustworthy industry. Do you know what I mean? Like, what I think doesn't help the untrustworthiness of the real estate industry is the fact that they put real in the title of their industry. Like, that's weird. No one else does that. Like, if you have to double down on the realness of what you do, it makes people trust you less. If you're in a situation where someone's like, nah, I'm a real medico and this is real science. You're a chiropractor. Shots fired. There we go. But I was doing this gig, and 20 minutes is the magic number when you're doing these corporate gigs. And I've got to give credit where credit is due. These guys are a good audience. And so did my time, got off stage. But I was in the green room just thinking to myself, I got away with this at least. It's passed with a push. But then the head honcho came on through. She didn't even say, hi, how are you? She just came into the green room and goes, you went long. I was like, excuse me, what? And she said, you were supposed to do 20 minutes of stand-up comedy, but you did 22. I know, that's the right reaction. Like, internally, I was thinking the same thing, like, worse things have happened at sea, love. Like, we're going to be fine. But I was a professional. I said, oh, sorry about that. I hope it didn't cause any trouble. Like, it was fine, wasn't it? And she said, no, well, you blew out the evening, and that's unprofessional. I know. I couldn't help myself. I looked her in the eye and said, what does it feel like to be a real estate agent and have someone else go over the advertised amount? So she laughed, and I don't think I got paid, which was nice. But at this juncture, guys, I am in my mid-40s. Thank you. You wooed too late. It was too late, but I do appreciate it. Thank you. But being the age I am, see, I've done stand-up comedy for a while now, and I always thought, stand-up comedy, I'm going to be living the rock star lifestyle. And it's going to be turned around a bit like the Rolling Stones. Pew-pew! Now, I have a long-term partner. I love her. I've got 2 gorgeous kids. Guess what? I'm at the Caravan park time of my life. And I've got to be honest, I love it. Man, it's the best. Caravan park's like the 70s. Like, no one gives a shit. It is amazing. We talk about the world of inclusivity. There's nowhere that is more inclusive than a caravan park. You can wake up in the morning in just footy shorts with a long neck of beer and people are like, welcome. You're with your brethren. Enjoy. And this is the greatest part for any people who are possibly thinking of becoming parents. I've got little kids in at a caravan park. Your kids just fuck off. They just leave for undetermined amounts of time. It is amazing. Hours, days, hopefully weeks. Like, it is great. And it's funny when I tell that story, because I live in the inner city, and so you tell parents that. You're like, I don't even know where the kids were. Like, you don't know where our children are? Nah. People get really worried about it. Like, people have said to me, like, oh, what happens if they got stolen? I'm like, they won't. Do you know why? Because everyone there is a parent, they don't want another one. Why would you invite another enemy into the bunker? Why would you do that? Like, the whole point is that at a caravan park, you just hope that your children will play with someone else's parents. They'll meet a mate and they'll play with that dad. That'll be heaps of fun. Like, honestly, that dad could be on meth. And you're like, just go for it. Honestly, he'll play cricket with you. He'll do a day-nighter. He will love it. It's going to be a great couple of weeks had by all. But I was telling a friend of mine, she's from the right side of the tracks, and I said, oh, we go to caravan parks. Don't mind camping either with her family. And she's like, oh, don't know if it's a bit dirty, you know, it's a bit rough. I said, okay, it's not a black tie affair. I'll grant you that. But you know what's dirtier? Hotel rooms. Think about it. You're laying on a mattress that hundreds, if not thousands, of people have laid on before you. And what do you think they've done on that mattress? That's the point of booking a hotel room. You don't have to worry about that at a caravan park. Do you know why? Because no one in the history of mankind has ever gotten laid at a caravan park. It is the least romantic place on the planet. You know what doesn't get the home fires burning? Someone going, excuse me, I'll go freshen up at the toilet block. Excuse me. Wait, before we do this, should we wear protection? Well ahead of you. Got thongs on, won't get tinnier. So, things will be fine. There's nothing sexual about a caravan park, do you understand? At a caravan park, chlamydia is just the name of some bogan's daughter. It is. Good time. But fully fulfilling the midlife is that my kids now, they want a dog. That's the thing now. They're like, oh, Dad, we get a dog. And I'm like, oh, God, it's the picket fence. It's the whole 9 yards. And I'm not against necessarily getting a dog. I grew up with a dog. I get it. Like, you dog owners, you love your dogs. I understand that. Like, I've never loved humans more than my kids, but there's a bit of that. Kids are going to give you that. Dogs, it's 100% love. It's never questioned. Every morning, your dog is onto whatever you want to do. You know, dog sees the leash, is like, what are we doing? Go in the park. Yes! That's why you're in charge, huh? Get it. And dog owners, you're more complimentary about your dogs than parents are about their kids. You say nicer things. You talk to a parent about how their kids are going, they're like, oh, yeah. Dog owners, just so nice. Like, I was at a dog park recently, you just talk to the owner and say, oh, it's a cute dog. They're like, it's my fur baby. It's my fur baby. I call my kids my flesh pets. Not as nice, you know what I mean? But the only thing is the dogs in my area, like, they're small dogs. And I get that. Like, I got no problem with small dogs. But because I live in the inner city, they're boutique dogs. They're the kind of dogs that I feel sorry for. And this isn't the dog's fault. It's just that humans have now bred these poor things to a point where they're like structurally unsound. Like up the road from us, my kids have fallen in love with this pug dog that lives up the road. And I'm sorry, those poor dogs just shouldn't exist like that. If you look it up, pugs used to have snouts. A couple of 100 years ago, nature gave them snouts. They're now just nostrils straight into skull. Like, this poor thing has eyeballs that just pop off like that. No one should have a blind spot there. It's like, oh, you snuck up on me by coming straight at me. That was like, come over here. Like, this poor thing, it struggles to breathe. Nothing in nature should struggle to breathe. It sits on your lap and it's like... The owner's like, I think Toby likes you. I'm just thinking, yeah, well, if Toby was a car, it'd be unroadworthy. Do you understand? Like, Toby's not right. There's all sausage dogs in my area. Like, hipsters love a sausage dog. And they're cute-looking dogs. And I was talking to an owner recently, because we do have a dog park just near us. And I don't mind strolling around, have a bit of a chat. And I was talking to the owner of this sausage dog. I said, oh, how's that little one going? He said, oh, it's actually got some back problems. Oh, you shit me. That thing with a spinal cord like a slack rope. You are kidding me. Like, they're dash hounds, yeah? They're Germans. And Germans are notoriously good with their engineering and manufacturing. But you think even the breeder of the sausage dog is like, we have gone too far. This ist nicht gut, Karl-Heinz, nicht gut. And across the road from us, there was a lovely couple and they had a toy poodle. My kids loved it. They were like, oh, let's get a toy poodle. Oh, it'd be nice. I'm sorry, that dog is not right. And the finger of blame needs to be pointed squarely at it. Because, guys, we've all got to know each other now. It's 2025, be open-minded. We now know, in this day and age, the poodles will fuck any dog. That's the kind of shock it sounds like you've fucked one. Like, that is... Oh, how could I forget that night? That was... Everything is half a poodle now. Every dog is half a poodle. Labradoodle, cavoodle. Oh, this is my pit balloodle. Oh, is it? Yeah, it doesn't molt while it's ripping out your jugular. Oh, okay, cool. I don't want to sneeze on the way to ED. Makes sense. But toy poodles, they're not right. Think about the inception of that poor dog, which is you had a normal-sized poodle, you bred it with the runt of the litter to make sure that its offspring were tiny, which means initially you had to find a dog that was attracted to sleeping with other dogs that looked like puppies. That's a petafoodle. I've heard of a King Charles Spaniel, but that's a Prince Andrew Terrier. That is... You are a live wire. You are... Because I got nothing against caravan parks. It's just that when I was on my own, I could just travel to wherever I wanted. I can still travel with the family, but it's just so much harder. I used to be able to tour anywhere. But when people ask me, what was your favourite place to gig? Well, wherever people are watching this now. But other than that, South Africa. South Africa is honestly one of the best places I've ever gigged. They're appreciative, they're great audiences. And if I got to be honest, fun accent to do. Accents are problematic in this day and age. I'm a straight white guy, I stay in my lane. If it's other white people, I can do it. But if you're asking me like, what does an Indian man sound like? I'm like, I don't know. In public, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I don't hear colour, and it's South African. Oh, if you can do it, a lot of fun. Because I bought a pressure hose from Bunnings. Did I tell you I'm in my 40s? And the brand name is Karcher. Oh, someone from Bunnings, good stuff. Are you in your 40s or you just like pressure hoses? 51. Okay, that wasn't the answer I expected. It's not often you talk to a woman in your crowd and you go, in your 40s? I'm a bit older, thank you very much. That's awesome. What a great reaction. You just like a Karcher, you like the pressure hose?
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah.
This is what, as you get older, isn't it? You're like, Do you watch those fast motion videos on Instagram where they clean the driveway? Oh, that's good gear, isn't it? The amount of times I have sat on a toilet just watching fast motions of lawns getting mowed, and then 20 minutes later you're like, oh, my legs are dead. I don't know. This is how I go out. Just watching someone do the edges on some 80-year-old's garden. But because the brand name is Karcher, my neighbour quite often borrows it, which is great, but he can do a really good South African accent. He's an Aussie, but he's really good with accents. And he comes to the door, and I don't know this is happening. He'll just knock on the door. And I said, oh yeah, what are you up to, Ryan? And that's when it starts. He's like, yeah, good to see you, my friend. By any chance, can I borrow your Karcher? And then I know we're on. I'm like, yeah, of course, Machana. Do you need it to clean your car or the weatherboard's on your house? I'm saying we know how to live. So, I'm over in South Africa and we're doing gigs, and I remember after a show one night, hanging out with some local acts, one of their friends came to join us at the bar. Gets to the end of the night, and I'm a single guy at the time, and she's like, would you like a lift home? And I'm like, and probably not that creepy, but I get in the car. I'm like, who knows where this night is going to go? Well, I found out. A couple of hundred metres away from the bar, she floors it. I'm talking 120, 140 kilometres through the streets of Johannesburg, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, there's a police officer behind us. I turned and sirens are going off. This guy's chasing us. She punches through 2 red lights and then finally pulls over. She's like, oh, he's not stopping. I'm like, yeah, they're pesky like that. We finally pull over, and I said, what do you think he wants? She goes, oh, he's probably going to get me for drink driving. And I said, have you been drinking? She's like, yeah, I'm blind. Okay, so the cop gets out of his car. He's holding a pistol already. He walks over to her side, gets the window to go down, points the barrel at her head, and then points it across at me and says, if you would have kept on driving, I would have shot you. I'm like, we're not in Kansas anymore. And what I found out is 2 cultural things that evening. When you're in a developing country like that, cops don't care. They do not care what you're up to. They just want a bribe. Like, these cops are happy to hold you up at gunpoint to get a bribe out of you. That freaked me out. I'm not used to this in Australia. And the second thing I found out is culturally in South Africa, women don't want to make out with dudes who are sitting in their own piss. How weird's that? Oh. But you got to get your kicks when you get them, because I went for a swim recently just near my house at the old swimming pool, and mid-morning really, and I'm in the showers just collecting my thoughts, figuring out what I'm going to do with the day, and I honestly did not expect this, which is a guy just popped up in the doorway of the shower cubicle. And I was confused. I was like, oh, do you need to use this? I'm like, I'll be out soon. And I'm thinking, most guys just sit and wait. And then I was like, there's other cubicles that are free. I don't know what's going on. And then I mumbled out something like, did you need to use this for? And he just smiled at me and he went, and he looked me up and down. I got to be honest, if there's any gay men here tonight, gold star to you. Do you know why? Because you guys flirt and you flirt direct. For all the straight men who are here tonight, and you've got a female next to you, no doubt your partner, we love you women. We will always come back for more. Of course we love women. But just know that the man who is with you right now, you don't know what he had to go through to figure out that you liked him, because you women flirt, but you flirt like a dog whistle. We can't hear it. Before I met my partner, I lived in a share house with two of my female friends. It was hilarious. They'd come home, they were single, and I always be like, how'd you go? And if they'd struck out, it was the most bizarre story to my ears. I'm like, how'd you go? And they're like, I was into this guy, I was showing him all the signs. Oh, what'd you do? Like, I turned my wrists towards him, and I put my purse in front of him just to point out that I felt safe. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, we're simple creatures. Like, if you know a dude's into you, girls, just point at your special spots and go, if you work hard enough, these can be yours. So I'll email you an itinerary tomorrow. We'll be like, sick! Works out all right. So this guy, he's kind of, he's smiling at me, and I wish I was cooler in the moment, because my thoughts were way not on anything like that. I now know what my partner is like when she's working from home and I'm bored. She's on an Excel spreadsheet and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, because this guy's looking at me, I wish I was so much cooler. I just went, no. And he went, and just walked off. And I gotta be honest, I wasn't annoyed he cracked onto me at a swimming pool. I was more pissed off that he didn't look angry when I knocked him back. I'm a D-grade celebrity, I'm a good catch, all right? I wanted to see him go like, oh, would have been good. Got away again, Couldn't care less, just moved on, hurtful. It's about a week or so later, I was walking past the swimming pool and bumped into a friend of mine. And she said, what have you been up to? And it just triggered my memory. I said, this dude cracked onto me when I was at the pool about a week ago. And she got a bit too serious. Like, I live in a suburb, it's very progressive. That's why I live there. I love it. But progressive people are very serious people. They are. There's always issues that are in their head. Is that okay? They don't tread lightly, everything. Are you sure about this? And I told her the story, just the overview, which I thought was a bit funny. And she said, so he made a pass at you in a public setting? And I was like, yeah. And she said, did you feel safe? My first thought was, I kind of liked it. Like, I'm straight, but I've been with my partner for over a decade, It's just good to know my stocks are doing all right out there. You could be 95 in a mobility scooter, and I'm like, Edna, stop it. Cheeky, look at you. And I can understand, she's also a woman. I can understand she's probably projecting. I mean, if she's showering and a dude's just standing in the doorway, what are you up to? Like, that's a lot. Did I feel unsafe? No, I've never felt unsafe around gay men. What? Someone might find me attractive. Oh, that is brutal. Oh, no. If I'm going to feel unsafe around men, straight people are the ones I'm going to feel unsafe around. Not all straight men, but I do know what my people are capable of, okay? All I'm saying, it's never a gay man who's coming out of KFC at 3 in the morning. What the fuck are you looking at? It's never happened. Usually when something's gone wrong, it's got my people's fingerprints on it, do you understand? Even COVID, if it's true that someone ate a bat in China, that's 100% a straight dude. That's a guy sitting at the table with his best mate going, go on, fucking eat it. What's the worst thing that could happen, bro? You think about war. War's the worst idea that humankind has ever had. And historically, that has been men turning up to battlefields with no one else around, but other men they haven't met before, with the whole idea of killing each other. That is the worst idea that humankind has ever had. And if you think a little further, if those men weren't straight, we wouldn't be in this mess. Yeah, because if you put gay men in a field with no one else around, but other gay men they've met before, I don't think killing's going to be their first priority, guys. People be like, what happened? Shots were fired. Some good men went down. Was it carnage? It was. It really was. That's why we're booking it in again for next Saturday. So we're going to get a DJ, which would be nice. I'm also at the therapy time of my life, and I don't say that with any shame. I'm proud to say that I go to therapy, but it's just weird for men of my age because we've got to look at the younger generation because they're much more emotive, they're much more in touch with their emotions. We can't look at the older generation because my parents are boomers, very good people, but there wasn't a lot of emotional chat, especially between men. Like men of my generation, usually the emotional chat with your father usually happened on your 18th or your 21st. Your dad had one too many drinks and he went, no, do it all right. You know, that was the extent of it. That was the half a second that you saw just flicker through, and then your mum just fills the void by going, he cares for you, he just has a funny way of showing it. Like, yeah, like not at all, which is good, so thank you. And I went to go see someone because at that time of my life, there's so many things I've literally got humans that I've got to keep alive, there's schedules, there's things. I feel like my life is like, do you remember the board game Battleship? Remember that? So you would have your side and you couldn't see your oppositions, but there were grids and rows. And if you hit the right matrix of, say, C3, and if the battleship was on it, you had enough on it. Oh, you sunk my battleship. Ah, it's gone. That's what it's like when you're in a relationship with kids. But it's your iCalendar. And you think to yourself, I got a free weekend. You! And then, boom, an invite comes to say, oh, the kids are playing odds kick at 8 in the morning on a Sunday. You're like, fuck, you sunk my social life. So many things going on in my head. Like I used to be able to sleep like a champion. It was one of my core strengths. I could just put my head down and clunk 8 hours later be like, oh, sick, what happened there? I could be hanging off a bridge and I'm like, I feel rested, that is great. Now, there's just so many things running through my head and it's weird because it's my brain. You think I could control it. But your brain, it runs the show. I put my head down so many nights, I'm like, hey brain, need to sleep tonight. Big day tomorrow. My brain's like, yeah. We could. Or we could run through a highlight package of your regrets. Let's kick off the night with poor career choices. And end up at 3 a.m. with shit you shouldn't have said at a party. What do you reckon? You knew she wasn't pregnant. Why did you ask? Why did you ask? So I went to see someone. Obviously, PSA, if you need help, you go see someone. But I realised you need rapport with that therapist because you got to trust him. And it wasn't necessarily her fault, the first woman I went to. It was just that she had an Alexa in the therapy room. You know, one of those hey Googles? And I'm not a tin hat conspiracist, but I don't like that thing because it just listens to you all the time. I get paranoid around it. And all I can think of in every therapy session is what kind of ads are popping up on this poor woman's Alexa after this thing is eavesdropped on therapy for a whole week. People are like, just wish I had a better father, sugardaddy.com. I got an addictive personality, sports bet. I'm not getting along with my in-laws, death cap mushrooms. But there's stress for all of us now. It's not just parents. Everyone's stressed. It's been a tough decade. We had COVID and now we've got the rising cost of living crisis. Like the rising cost of living. That is a heartbreaking sentence when you break it down. Not the rising cost of anything in particular, just life. Hey, I've been thinking about living. Yeah, we've crunched your numbers and I know if it's for you, mate. So, not many alternatives out there, is there? You can't work it out. And what I hate is hearing businesses making a mozza off us. We don't have a lot of scratch to throw around. But businesses find ways to make money out of us in these situations. Like we get a duopoly here in supermarkets in Australia, Coles and Woolworths, and they are making record profits off us. It is heartbreaking. But I read a story recently and it inspired me about the little man getting one over because, and this is awesome, I've heard people are cutting the ends off the broccoli, putting that in their basket and leaving the stem in the box. They are heroes amongst us. I heard that and was like, oh man, at the supermarket now, I'm going to be peeling watermelon. Are you kidding me? Why am I paying for that weight? Are you shitting me? That is awesome. I heard that and I'm like, everyone should be doing that. That makes sense. But only do it at Coles and Woolworths. Like, don't do it at independent grocers. They're doing a good job, okay? You can do it at Aldi, but I don't know the rules at Aldi. I don't think Aldi knows the rules at Aldi. Those crazy Germans, how weird is it? Hey Aldi, can I take the stems off the broccoli? Yeah, but you got to leave the arms on the wetsuits. So... Okay, sick. Works itself out. Nice one. But I found out in the worst way, and I don't want this to dissuade anyone from doing it, but I saw it in a press release. Coles and Woolworths came together and put out a press release to say that they found people that are doing this, and if you leave the stem in the box and you don't pay for it, they classify it as stealing, and they'll notify the local authorities. Oh my God. I know. I was like, calm your farm, guys. It's not stealing. We just left you with a shit bit. And that is human nature, is it not? That if you like a product or service and there's only a small part that you want, you'll find a way to discard the rest. It's happened before. We've had history in it. Not to put too fine a point on it, ladies, you've done it before. Have you ever seen the apparatus that a woman may use if she's alone and feeling amorous? Yeah, you looked at men and were like, we'd get rid of most of that. But ironically, all you kept was the stem. So... Well played, ladies, well played. But you know what's also sick about caravan parks is... I'm about to say 2 words, and it's, for anyone who's my age or older, it's going to take a couple of seconds for your memory to bring this back to the front of your mind. It's been sitting there for about 30 years. For anyone younger than me, unfortunately, you probably won't know what this sentence means. I'm so sorry. But at a caravan park recently, I saw a white dog turd. When's the last time you saw one of those? That is the rarest of all Pokemon. So there's young kids here, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you mean. Because I get it, you've lived a world. All you guys in your 20s, you've lived a world where people, when they take their dog out for a walk, drops a deuce, they put it in a bag, they put it in the bin. Yeah, check your privilege. Okay? It wasn't always like that. It wasn't. In the 80s, you took your dog out for a walk so it would shit somewhere else. That was the point of it. It would. There'd just be some dude with a Doberman on a chain. He'd have a mullet and tattoos, and I'm talking real mullets and tattoos. Now you see a mullet and tattoos, and you're like, oh, they're taking a year off after their private school. That's nice. Nah. You saw a guy with a mullet and a tattoo in the 80s. His name's Rick, and he's out on good behaviour. That is. And the thing was, back then, dogs weren't living off like organic scroggin or whatever the hell they're feeding dogs now. It was just bone and meat, pure calcium. It would take a year and a half for it to travel through. Then finally they'd drop a brick, okay? It would come out, and it would take 3 seconds in the Australian sun, and it would just turn white. Not immediately all the way through, because you found out about that when one of your schoolmates just kicked it towards you. You're like, oh, that was only the coating, that was only the outside. It's disgusting. So this white brick would just sit there and grass would grow over it. No one would do anything about it. Then you'd be 8 years old. You're watching the cartoons on a Saturday morning because that was the only time you got it. None of this ABC2 bullshit, all right? You only got 2 hours on a Saturday morning, and then the rest of the day was Wide World of Sports. People had to watch 18 hours of sailing. That is what happened in the 1980s. So it's Saturday morning, you finish DuckTales, you're riding high. Your dad says, you got to mow the lawn. You're like, I'm 8. He's like, I'm hungover. This is going to happen. So I'd get on the motor mower. You didn't have the height to look over the thing, right? You're just going off feel. Then all of a sudden the blades hit something that isn't grass. You can hear it. And then, boom. There's just white dog turd dust as far as the eye could see. You're breathing it in. Sounds disgusting, but it was the 80s. We were playing in asbestos sheds with lead paint. This was a misdemeanor at best. So what we did in suburban Australia to try and stop this from happening is there's a weird theory that dogs won't shit anywhere near water. Have you ever seen a dog crap in water? You haven't, okay? That is a seal. That's how evolution works. So this happened in suburban Australia. If you lived in the city, you wouldn't have seen it. If you lived out in the country, you wouldn't have seen it. Which was, you had an empty plastic bottle. You would have drank it the night before. Bit of cola just around the family table. Then you fill it up with tap water. You put the lid back on, and you leave that full bottle of water just sitting on nature strips and front yards all throughout suburban Australia. It was weird. That was the water feature of the 1980s. It's the worst episode of Grand Designs you've ever seen. Honestly. And when I say bottled water, I mean just bottles filled with water. It wasn't bottled water. Like in the 1980s, we didn't have that. We just drank it out of the tap. Ugh, like, what kind of knuckle draggers were we? Like, we didn't even know where Mount Franklin was. We hadn't climbed up there to know the fortune that was the top of that peak. It is a weird concept, is it not? Bottled water. It's the most common substance in the world, and yet we pay money for it. Now, people complain about it's $1.80 a litre for petrol. That is dinosaur juice that has been pulled out of the ground and put into a pump, and we're like, $1.80 for a litre, bullshit. Then you go into the servo and half a litre of water's $2.50. You're like, oh, it's a good price. Makes sense. Bottled water just turned up sometime in the 90s. It was strange. Just one day it wasn't there, and then it was there. Just in fridges, in supermarkets, and milk bars throughout this country. It was strange. We all just stood there, gobsmacked. How many dogs try to shit in your fridge? Because I honestly have too much fecal matter in my life. When you've got young kids, that's all it is. Just wiping backsides, making sure that everything is fine. This happened to me, which is my youngest, came out of the toilet cubicle one day, just naked as the day she was born, just with the head of a turd. Just hanging out of her backside. And I said, what's going on? And she didn't even break stride. She goes, it stinks in there. Like, okay, mate. What are you going to do about it? I said, you're going to wipe your backside? Nah. Not sticking to your rules, old man. It's like, what? Are you going to let this hang on for dear life until, what, you graduate high school? What are you doing? So finally I bit the bullet. I went into the toilet cubicle. I grabbed all the toilet paper. I came back out, and then she thought it was the funnest trick to run around the house threatening to wipe shit everywhere. She thought it was the funnest game she's ever played. Luckily, I had bottles of water everywhere, so always one step ahead, guys. Because it's weird, when you got young kids too, man, they come out with anything. It's strange. Like my little one, she came back from daycare, and we now live in a world where we're much more open about body parts, especially the special areas. We didn't talk about that when you were younger. But now, she came back, and they talked about their entire body, from head to toe, but of course, that was the only bit she concentrated on. And for the next 6 weeks, all she talked about was penises and vaginas. And the hard part for me is I've been a stand-up comedian for longer than I've been a parent. So I laughed every time. It's hilarious. She was always anatomically correct. You know, she'd always go up to guys, and especially me. She's like, Daddy, you're a penis. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you. She'd go up to her mum, you're a vagina. Like she's clocked it. Good stuff. But she would shake it up. She'd go up and come up to me, Daddy, you're a big penis. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but thank you. Feels insulting. All right, carry on. This one was hilarious because she thought she was eviscerating me. She goes, Daddy, you've got a big penis. And I'm like, oh, you got me. Oh, no. Oh, tell the neighbours. That is brutal. Oh. But then she said to her mum, Mummy, you've got a big vagina. I'm like, not as funny, mate. That is... Skating on thin ice there, Chief. That's no good. But after 6 weeks, and that's not hyperbole, it was 6 weeks, I laughed at it every time. And I thought, I've got to stop this. I've got to nip it in the bud. So I sat with her and I said, hey, I understand that you do find it a bit funny. It's great that you know those words. But the thing is, only do it in this house. We can have fun, but outside of the house, people don't want to hear it. Because that's their special areas. They don't want that mentioned outside in public. And I thought that was a nice thing to say, a nice way to couch it. She just looked at me, she's like, you're a penis. And cleared off, couldn't care less what I have to say. Next day, I go pick her up from daycare. It's busy, everyone's frazzled, the teachers are frazzled, parents to come pick up their kids are frazzled. The kids obviously after a long day, a little bit wide. I could see it coming. I walk in She sees me and even elbows her best friend and it's like... And then at the top of her lungs in front of everyone just goes, Daddy, you're a penis. Just waiting for the standing ovation she surely deserves. And I thought, I told her not to do this. So I raised my voice to at least act like I got some authority in my house. And I wanted the teachers to hear me, to be like, no, I run a tight ship. But I never said I was quick on my feet. Because this isn't a joke. I did say this in front of a packed daycare centre. I looked at the eye and said, hey, mate, remember, we can only talk about Dad's penis when we get home. I wish that was a joke. I really do. Got an ankle bracelet, which is nice. But I don't, or do I? Because I'm slightly jealous of what's been afforded for my kids as in the opportunities. Like they learn not one but two other languages other than English. It's incredible. I know. They learn German on a Saturday because my partner's half German, she's fluent, and they also learn Mandarin during the week at school. I'm like, that is incredible. They'll grow up to be at least bilingual. At least. Like, I'm a middle-aged white Australian male. I'm barely lingual. Do you understand? And I was only bi once, but I was drunk at uni. So that doesn't count. Doesn't count. That is a joke, of course. I went to TAFE and... that laughter actually hurt a bit, but I think it's very good that they learn these languages because I think it can only be good for developing brains, especially Mandarin, because I think it's not a Latin derivative. From what I can gather, their pronunciation is very good. I also think it can only be beneficial that they're surrounded by that culture, because I think the Chinese culture has been so influential throughout centuries, throughout the world. Think about it. Culinary, science, art, philosophy. I think that can only be good for their developing brains. And let's be honest, you want to make your kids future-proof, so I don't know what Xi Jinping's up to, but they'll be ready. And German, just in case, third time's a charm. So... Russian next semester, which would be good. Привет, comrade. That'll be fun. Because half my family is Dutch. Oh, really? The tall, lanky guy with blue eyes. You shit me. But I don't say we hid our Dutchness necessarily, but there weren't many questions when I was growing up. When I was growing up in Australia, you just wanted to fit in. It's a different world now, and I think it's great that we highlight different cultures. Back then, you're like, no, it's not weird. No, I don't know. Yeah, I guess my grandmother talks weird. Oh, shut up, you are. And you didn't really talk about it. But my auntie, she's 14 years older than my mum. My mum was only 4 when they migrated across here to Australia. But my auntie, on her 90th birthday, started talking about what it was like living under the Nazi regime in Holland when she was a girl. I'm sure you guys know the history, but quick overview. In 1939, the Germans, they weren't great. The Nazis weren't A1. I wouldn't have backpacked around then. I don't think... It did look like a lot of fun. They looked at Europe and were like, this is ours now. And I don't know if it was that camp. Quick, dash hounds attack. But if you know your geography of Europe, is that they want to take over France. And if you're going to flank them from the north, you have to go through the Flemish states, which is Belgium, Netherlands. And they attacked. But luckily, there was the Dutch resistance. They put up a fight for about 2.5 minutes, I believe. It was a couple of guys on bicycles with Gouda cheese. They couldn't retreat because they were wearing clogs. Yeah, you get splinters if you walk backwards in those. That is science. But what happened was, once the Nazis took over, they took all the able-bodied men and they threw them in POW camps, which included my grandfather, my oppa. And he was in there for 5 years, and at times they didn't even know if he was going to survive. At times they didn't even know if he was alive. So it was my oma, my grandmother, my auntie, who was 6 when that first happened, and she lived through the occupation until she was 11, and my uncle, who was 4 years old. My mum wasn't born yet, and it was going to be a while until that happened. So they were just living through that day to day. But the Germans, just thinking, oh, we've taken all the men, we've won. They didn't realise women can also fight as well. And my oma was part of the Dutch resistance. And my auntie explained to me that one night, British soldiers got shot down in their planes, they survived, and my family hid them in the roof of their house for 2 weeks, part of the Allies. Fed them, made sure they were fine, and then in the cloak of darkness one night, they went off to hopefully continue fighting a good fight. I was like, that is incredible. My Oma, my grandmother, is an unsung war hero. She made those kind of sacrifices to keep going. Little things like that won the war over. My grandfather came back. They had my mum. They then migrated to the other side of the world where they didn't know the language. They made sacrifice after sacrifice for their family. And to justify that sacrifice, their grandson is a fucking professional clown. Now, does that justify the actions that they made? How different are our lives? Between my grandmother and myself, like her worst day was thinking, my God, Nazis might take out myself and the airmen. That is her worst day. My worst day is, oh, geez, I pitched a show to a TV network. Do you reckon they'll ever film it? How different are two people's lives? How different are two people's understanding of the sentence, do you reckon they'll ever shoot my pilot? Her sacrifice was worth it. For that pun. It wasn't. It wasn't. So I'm in the middle of my life. If I make it to 90, I'll be pretty happy about the situation like my auntie did. And I don't mind being the age that I am. I understand that there's younger people watching this who's like, this doesn't look like fun. It's not a great sell when you're in your midlife. It's a strange time of your life because this decade is the first time I've realised there's an end to all this. Every other decade I'm like, I'll live forever. Now every morning I'm like, I won't. I hurt myself. And I don't know how. Like I'm at the time of my life where if I sent a nude to my partner, that's probably for a mole check. This is where I'm at. This is true. And it's strange, people who are my age, because we're not only in the middle of our life now, we're also a middling generation. I feel like we're the generation between the generations that now get all the press. And we're in the middle with our head down, not exactly knowing what's going on. Like people like to talk about boomers now and their influence on the rest of the world. And we're obsessed by now the kids coming through. And they've been growing up in the digital age, Gen Zs, things like that. And I got to be honest, from being inside and between this, they do not like each other. It seems like you're playing it all out on social media, on your platforms. All the Gen Zs are on TikTok now talking about how the world should be better. And it should. They're the ones that are going to have to look after it. They've got mental anxieties, but they're doing it through the medium of dance, which is great multitasking. They're doing good stuff. Baby boomers, they are on Facebook. They're retired and they are giving it heaps. They're just two-finger warriors. So it's weird. You guys are throwing shade at each other, but we're in the middle. We're like half of both of you. We're just working it all out. And it's strange. Whatever you throw at them, it's probably a little bit of us in it. Like boomers, they like to say to kids, they need resilience, these kids, they need resilience. We got resilience. Our generation especially. Do you know how we got resilience? By sheer neglect. You'd finish school, put your bags in, your parents would be like, leave. I got to cook dinner. Can you just leave me alone? You could have an injury. They're like, it's a flesh wound. Things are going to be fine. Please leave me alone. I'm making dinner. Beef doesn't boil itself. All right? I've got silver side to make. Mate, you want resilience? Especially people of my age. Do you know why? Because as I hit adolescence, you know what the fashion of choice was? Hypercolour t-shirts. If you don't know what that is, that was an item of clothing that changed colour thanks to the hotter areas of your body. Do you know what kind of sick social experiment that is? When it's casual dress day in year 7, you rock up in a hypercolour t-shirt, you ain't aware that year 7 arts teacher's going to be wearing a low plunge dress. All of a sudden your torso's breaking out in red flashes. It's going to complement your pimpled face. You're going to be called Horny Thorny for the rest of the time at high school. You just live with that and have to move through it. You want resilience? My generation especially. Do you know why? Because technology in our lives just let us down. It has disappeared. The generation that I just spoke about, you got technology that you can hold on to. Baby boomers, you got pretty much everything that you grew up with. Newspapers are still around. Combustion engines are still driving the streets. You got TV, radio, record players. They're all still here. They'll be there to your dying breath. And the kids now just expect the entire world to be streamed at their face-offs. I talked to a 16-year-old recently. He asked me, what was Netflix like growing up? I said, dude, we didn't have Netflix. His response, what? You only had Stan. But all of our technology was bridging technology. It's disappeared off the face of the planet. You know what doesn't help at a job interview? What skills have you acquired? I can work dial-up MSN Messenger. I've got a mini disc player, if you're interested in that. I can also work a Sega Mega Drive. Do you have any of those? No, I didn't think so. I mean, my kids, I took them to Sonic the Hedgehog recently, and they said, do you know who Sonic is, Dad? Know him. I used to control him. And because of that, we've learned to adapt. We don't complain. Something new turns up, we lay back, we ask questions, we just got to figure out what's going on. We're not like those outliers. Like I read recently, the teenagers think it's sarcastic if there's a thumbs up at the end of a text message. They complain about it. It's like, hang on a second, a text message is written. Sarcasm is tonal. That means you read it and put the tone in your head. How are you complaining about something that's self-inflicted? Everything is sarcastic if you read it as such. You can walk around a graveyard and look at headstones being like, oh, they lived a happy life, did they? Like, it's all you. And here's a tip for the baby boomers out there. Stop taking photos on iPads. What are you doing, okay? It's too big a piece of technology. How does this work? What's going on here? If only there was a smaller piece of technology that gave you the same outcome. It is! It's sitting in your fucking pocket! And because they were a fusion of both of you, we're socially responsible, but we're also fiscally responsible. Fiscally responsible because our baby boomer parents told us to get into the housing market. There was nothing malicious behind it because it's just bricks and mortar. That's the safest thing that you could do. That's what you should do with your money, because it was 3 to 4 times their annual income. And that did make sense, and only one of the parents had to work because that's how it worked. Now both of us are working ourselves down to the fucking bone now that we can get into the market. But it's 8 to 9 times the annual income, even higher in capital cities. But the thing is, we saved up our money, we're in it, and now we're mired in debt, aren't we? We're like frogs that are slowly boiling in the water. We don't know if we're going to jump out or actually die in this thing, but either way, we're going to make it work. And we're also socially progressive. I think kids think it's something that they made up. No, I grew up in the 90s, okay? I listened to grunge music, hip-hop, and I watched kung fu movies. That is the holy trinity of the United Nations, okay? So it's something new that you invented. We're also scared about equality of what it looks like because we're worried at work someone half our age is going to cancel us because we mentioned the card game blackjack. Oh, Jack's actually a person of colour. I get... We grew up on our parents yelling at us and just raining thunder down on us, and when they hit us, every other adult stood around going, oh, well, that makes sense. They must have done so. And now, thanks to Instagram psychologists, we have to parent with the calmness of a Buddhist monk while our kids fucking yell at us. So in case you're wondering what our pronouns are, I will let you know it's very and tired. I think we can all agree therapy's going well. Thank you, guys.